It's time for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
And welcome to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Big D!
My name is Stick. I am filling in for Neil Rule today, and man, do we have a show for you. Behind my shoulder there, Darren McCarty is here. We got KG here. Spencer Raxter is here. The man, the myth, the legend, Trick is coming into studio right now. We're going to talk to him about his new movie that is dropping soon. He's making the rounds, doing the media thing. Darren, we just had an incredible meeting. Can't talk about it right now, but some big things happening at Woodward Sports. The Pistons have won 8 in a row. Michigan State hitting half-court buzzer beaters.
Half-court calling no net. He didn't even call net. That thing went in so pure, Stick.
It's just a good time to be alive right now if you're a Detroit sports fan, and it's a good time to be from Detroit in general. Spenny, how you feeling after that Michigan State buzzer beater last night?
That was beautiful. Trey Holloman, this guy has stepped his game up big time this year. You needed someone to start hitting shots, start hitting threes. And Trey Holloman, obviously he had the 3 in a row against Michigan. That's the second time on the season he's done that this year. And then he just goes out there, half-court heave to win the game on the road against Maryland. The second number 5 wearing a headband for Michigan State to hit a half-court buzzer beater in Maryland's arena. Shout out Cassius Winston. It was just beautiful. Shout out Spartan Dogs. They got it done, man.
Benny, how big was that for the program on
Huge.
the road in the Big Ten? And especially the way the game sort of played out, the way that you up 6 late, sort of Maryland expecting it at home, clawing back, getting a good look out of 3 before absolutely crushing their hopes and dreams on the road. But how big was this because of where the Sparties are at?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, it keeps them in first place in the Big Ten. You look at the last 3 wins in a row at Purdue, at Michigan, at Maryland. 3 of the top 5 Big Ten teams. It's just Spartans are playing their best ball, getting closer and closer into Izzo.
Izzo.
It's just beautiful stuff, man. I'm so happy. Basketball is in a beautiful space in the state of Michigan right now.
Yeah, it feels good. The Pistons absolutely putting in work last night. Malik Beasley, sign that man right now. Give him whatever extension he needs. I don't care. Him, it's not only his shooting ability, it's the swagger that he brings, it's the attitude that he brings, the shimmy that he brings, the weird floppy arms when he's running away after he hits a three-pointer. Like, the dude's a personality. Yeah. And when you got those types of guys that feel comfortable within a system to let their personality fly, this city's going to embrace him like nobody's business.
And I think they have. And here's the kicker. Every time he steps to the microphone, first thing he does is express his love for this team, this city, how happy he is to be here. Neil says all along, right, at the trade deadline, telling Trajan Langdon, yo, bro, please don't trade me. Like, who does that stuff? But I think that, you know what that is? That's a fabric, and it's a great segue to have the perfect guest when we get to him. In Trick, talking about the love of the city and how the city will love you back. I'm a product of that.
Yeah.
Right? And if you give everything you got, because that's what we want. We want the effort. And Malik Beasley, like, dude, when he sets up, we not only gave that unbelievable stat last week about his catch and shoot is what was it, Spenny? Like 100 points better.
Yeah, the gap between Malik Beasley at number 1 and number 2 is higher than the gap between number 2 and number 35.
Jeez. Damn. Like, that's just heads and tails above the rest. And it's nice to have a reliable shooter, Spenny.
And it's nice to have an elite defender. This man, Asar Thompson,
put his ass on skate.
Tatum in jail last night.
Put his ass on skate. That was not on defense, but yeah, he made his ass look silly last night. And I saw a couple of Celtics fans getting roasted with that very picture. Like, no, this your man? This your king?
Right.
This your hero? Well, our second-year guy just took him to school. Did we get any updates on Asar's leg, though, coming out?
It was
just cramps? Okay. I missed that update when I was watching the game.
You know what it is also? If you watch clips, right? How much fun these guys are having. What does it remind you of? To me, it reminds me of watching the Lions locker room.
Yeah.
And how much fun that they're having. Like, you see the guys dancing before the game or getting hyped up and whatever. That's real. And when that energy is real, and I think that the Red Wings, the key thing warming up before the game is kicking the soccer ball around when we see it. And I bet you they're having a blast doing that too. So I think that this is, kudos to Trajan Langdon for putting the pieces in place. We always say from the top down, but JB Bickerstaff not only showing the discipline to these young guys, but allowing them to be individuals, allowing the Malik Beasley to be himself. That's what we get, right? We don't have the same robotic, this guy playing here. We don't know personality. We got personalities now. We got guys to cheer for. Dude, my guy, Ronald Holland Jr.
Oh, what a game.
19 years old, bro, like late in the game. And then you know what else? From him to one of the oldest guys, and Tim Hardaway Jr., 4 minutes left, diving for balls. It's awesome to see. And even I can't double down even more the fact that there is going to be playoffs in LCA, and we're going to get that place rocked.
Man, and not only playoffs, but like winnable playoffs in LCA, because the Pistons have been there before, but they got swept. It wasn't even close. They were taking on the number 1 seed in the Bucks and just got absolutely steamrolled. So you were going to LCA knowing you were probably going to see an ass whooping, but now you're going to LCA knowing that you may see the Pistons win a playoff game in LCA. Like, that's what's crazy to me. And with Malik Beasley and his personality, it's one thing to have personality, right? It's another thing to be a winner when you have personality, because Roy Williams had personality, and he was celebrating first downs even though we were down 40 points. And he was demonstrative.
Not the same.
Not the same when you're knocking down clutch three-pointers to go up 20 points on the Celtics at home. And KG, I know you got to be loving this right now.
Oh, you already know I'm turned up right now, man. But this Pistons team, they just continue to amaze me. The fact that they have come this far, and we are seriously looking at them maybe winning 50 games. If they continue on this pace, they will easily get to the
50?
Yeah, they could. They absolutely could. And they have a legitimate shot at the 4th seed, man. And you look at it, they just have an identity, and this defense is playing for each other and is going out there and giving their best effort each and every night.
You know what the consistency is? And I saw this stat with their up on the board in the post-game show. Their closest game in this 8-game streak was against Atlanta at 5 points. There was another one at 8, and the rest of them have been 10, 13, 15, 40. You know what I mean? They're actually putting it to teams. They're not only beating teams, right? They're actually like leaving their names and their addresses to where to find them.
Well, and the flip side of that, think of the 2 games that they have lost. Yeah. It's been half-court buzzer beaters or last-second shots.
And they're doing it in different ways. It's like, how do you want it, Pistons team? You go out there, you can beat the Hawks by putting up almost 150 points in regulation, or you can go out there and you can hold the defending champion Celtics to under 100 points. Like, his team is so fun to watch. They've got legitimate, like, award contenders at almost every position. You look, Malik Beasley, he's got 15 games this season with 6 or more three-pointers made, which is number 1 in the NBA. He is a big contender for 6th Man of the Year. JB Bickerstaff, contender for Coach of the Year. Kate Cunningham, MVP contender. And then you've got Asar Thompson and Isaiah Stewart, both all NBA defensive first-team contenders. Like, Isaiah Stewart is the hardest person to score on in the paint per opponent's field goal average at the rim. Better than Wemby, better than Rudy Gobert. You don't score in Beef Stew's paint, dog. This Pistons team, I haven't seen a team like this in 15-plus years with the Pistons. It's making me emotional, dude. I love crazy. This shit.
So I got a question. Because with the Lions, right, we all kind of had that point of like, oh, this was the turning point. When Sheila came down out of the ivory tower to back Dan Campbell and say, I still believe in this guy when they only, 3-13 that season.
Yes.
When she came down and backed him, then they started to go on that win streak. To me, that was like the turning point for the Lions. Mm-hmm. The Pistons have just kind of been like a slow boil, right? There's no one thing I can point to besides Cade coming of age, right?
No, biggest thing is JB.
Yeah. I think
so. The hire of JB, that moment.
JB to put his pieces in a row and to teach this team right. Now, it's got to be the receptive and coachability of this team, but that's the biggest move. And God bless, because we saw the absolute polar opposite last year.
Yeah.
Like revisionist history, go a year ago, sitting here 1 year ago, right? The apathy.
Yeah.
I think personally the biggest moment for me was when Tom Gores walked out there, wrote the check, and said, all right, Monty Williams, get the fuck out of my city.
Here's $13 million not to coach.
Get the fuck out of my city. Like, Tom Gores, I gained a lot of respect for that man because he knew Monty Williams was a terrorist. He knew that shit was not working, and he ate the biggest contract in the history of a coach in the NBA. He wrote the check and said, here, go have fun in Cabo. We're going to bring in a dog to get these young Bulls playing right.
And if you want to point to something in season, I guess you can say when they started 0-4, and they kind of had to have that turnaround, because that's the last thing you wanted to do is, come off winning 14 wins, new season starts, you already in the whole 0-4. So they have rallied ever since that moment, and they have been one of the better teams. They've barely lost in the year of 2025.
And the amount of love they're getting, it's not just here locally. Like, it's not just us, right? Like, you're seeing the rapper Chuck D posting about it like, man, these are the bad boy Pistons.
Yeah.
They're back. Even though I hate to mention ESPN, but ESPN's actually covering the Pistons.
Yeah,
the Pistons are part of the ESPN bottom bar today. Pistons win 8 games for the first time since 2008.
You got
like,
Gilbert
it's not just
Arenas
here.
finally putting some respect on the Pistons. He's been talking choppy for the past year and a half. He's finally putting some respect on him. So it's awesome.
Tim Legler literally just did a podcast on Cade Cunningham, man. It's crazy. The turnaround in 1 year has been nuts, bro.
The breakdown last night, he did a breakdown on Van Pelt or whatever like that, showing the defensive, like the switches and why Detroit, because it's the effort.
Yeah.
The effort and stuff. Hey, Spenny in the chat, Steve says, I remember how much Spenny was hating on Tatum during the finals last year. So to quote Flannel Sam, last night must have been like watching porn.
It was. Like, I hate the Celtics more than any other team in the NBA, and Jason Tatum's a soft little puss. I don't give a fuck. He wasn't even the number one on his own team.
Yeah, that's a
Jaylen Brown
fact.
had to take that torch from him.
That's a fact.
Fuck Jason Tatum, bro.
$5 super chat from Byrne. Cade in the Garden and the Lakers suite.
Oh,
Man in the Garden, bro.
Just make sure the Pacers
deserve
matchup
it.
happens. That's all I care about.
Pacers-Pistons would be
I
electric.
want Pacers-Pistons playoff again.
Yes, please.
Like, we've already ripped their soul out of that franchise before, and they've kind of risen up to be the loudmouths of the league, and I would love to tear the heart out of that franchise again.
And what better way to get back? They've been whooping our ass all regular season. What better way to get back than in the playoffs?
KG, is it fair to say that Tyrese Halliburton is the Logan Paul of...
Easily.
Of
Easy. He's become so dislikable,
Oh, my
bro.
God.
Like,
Isn't
I
that
don't know
crazy?
what's up with him.
Listen, I wanted Halliburton over
I did
Killian
too.
Hayes.
We all did.
It's on
We
tape
all
here
did.
at Woodward Sports, so I'm not going to bash his basketball playing ability, but what that dude does off the court,
That shit's soft, man.
Is-
What
If
you
the
still holding the
Pistons,
grudge
if the
for?
Pistons beat the Pacers in a playoff series this year, I'll get a tattoo of Isaiah Stewart out of Legos. Like Isaiah Stewart as Legos.
There you go.
I love how every year you come up with a tattoo
If the
back.
Pistons beat the Pacers in the playoff series, I'll do it.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about in this show. Even Cade's nickname, that's kind of been a topic of discussion I've seen on social media. So
Mellow Yellow.
Mellow Yellow
I'm
came
just
out last
kidding.
night.
Yeah,
We've
it's
seen
Cade.
Cade Icewood.
Yeah.
We've seen the Cade Crusader. Like there's a lot of Cade nicknames. So we gotta narrow that down. And we got Uncle Trick in the
Legend.
studio.
Legend
New
in the
movie
building.
coming out. We're gonna play the trailer coming out of this break. But first, tell them about Les Stanford.
Well, let me tell you about Les Stanford. If you're in for a car or a truck, it's a Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. Zero security deposit, zero due at signing, zero first payment, zero acquisition fee, zeros across the board. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
If you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. He'll save you up to $5,000 your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Visit him at markwhitesales.com or call him at 248-290-8242. Mark White, the best in the game if you're looking to find a new place.
Science, 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 Benjamin. Few alterations and we've just about figured it out. Benjamin, we did it!
You are no longer necessary.
Just got a call from local PD. I think we may have something on that.
Wait.
They done killed the damn valet man, and it's a car down here that looks just like yours with the doors wide open.
You know what happened here? Your valet gave me the wrong car.
For once, I get this responsibility, and this shit happens?
So, son, tell me, how did it go last night?
What the f is this? Dog.
Dog?
I need to talk to dog. Don't anybody just talk to dog. Who is it? It's Joe. Who are you sending me to Joe?
I gotta go back to work. You better take this car and take her with you while you at it before I need a lawyer.
Let's get this mother. What's it to you? About 2 M's off rip. That bread.
There they go right there.
Gangbangers.
What the f is wrong with you? What the f is wrong with you, man? Just stand up. Smoke gang, you know what I'm saying? Say Ricky bought.
Talking about you guys. Come get me.
Man, these got my girl, dog.
Jesus can work it out.
Ain't gonna be working this one out.
Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Trick Trick in the studio, the godfather of Detroit.
Detroit legend.
The Last 24 is the movie. Tell us a little bit about the movie, how it came to be, when it's coming out. Obviously a comedy, right?
Yeah.
I hope.
Yes,
right.
It is. I had a soundtrack that I did, Smoke Gang soundtrack,
Yep.
D-Mac.
Shout out.
And I, me, Snoop, Wiz Khalifa, Be Real, DJ Premier, Diesel, West Coast Stone. We just put a badass piece of work together. And I didn't get a chance to master it. So I was like, damn, I want to remaster it and put it out as a soundtrack. And just me talking to myself now. It's a soundtrack. Well, a soundtrack to what? Well, a soundtrack to a movie. What movie? I guess we got to write one, right? Hey, you've been writing songs all this time. I'm sure you could write a movie. So it's like, yeah, go for it. Well, I had some pretty big scripts already pitched to Hollywood before that's got some real good attention. And I've been in the game a long time, so I had very, good insight on the film industry from pre-production, production, and post-production, from this side of the camera and that side of the camera. So it was like, I can do it, with that thing in my mind that say I can do anything.
Yep.
And I wrote the script, and then I passed it to Mikey Eckstein and to Diesel and said, let's rock and roll. Jason George, I keep forgetting Jason George.
Mike Martin in the movie.
Mike Martin is in the movie.
Oh,
We
dude,
start
I saw
casting.
all the homies. Corey the Bud Tender.
Yep. We start
Corey the Bud
casting
Tender.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, Corey the Bud Tender.
That's OG.
Smoke
That's
Gang.
OG's guy, dude. Smoking right there.
BH, Roscoe.
Roscoe. Oh, yeah. I'm
Big
laughing, I saw.
Sweets. So it was like a family affair. I had everybody there. My daughter, my big sister Monique, who's a playwright. So it was like we got it. We got everything we need. Somebody told me I couldn't do it, so
I did.
And then after now, mind you, this was 2019. After that, we had a lot of things happen that just kept knocking me back, and like just so much. And it was like I refused to give up, because I believe in it. It came from here. And a lot of beautiful, talented people put in that collective effort to come out with a masterpiece, and we finally made it to the finish line. Like we made it, and it's like that many years later, the testimony of all the things from a whole nother, like I said before, a whole nother movie can be filmed or created just from the shit that took place from
the movie.
The finishing the movie
Right.
to now.
How long was that total process? I know you said COVID stepped in the way of it.
Yeah,
so
man,
what
I
was-
lost my mom. It was like the drives got stolen out of 2 different cars in California. I got in a high-speed chasing in
Who the
San
hell's stealing from Trick Trick?
No, they don't give a damn about none of that shit.
Yeah.
out there.
They don't
mean
there,
a
right?
fuck ass
YNs,
thing.
man.
Notice he said California, not in Detroit.
They don't care about none of that. It's that car got something in it, and they want it. They coming in to get it. You just got to be smarter than I was.
So let's
don't
get back
leave
to the
your shit in
high-speed
court.
chase. You
Right.
driving or is somebody else driving?
I'm driving.
Oh.
Hey.
Me and the CEO of Heavyweight Heads.
Whipping
Shout out heavyweight heads. Sunshine number
is
4.
mashing through San Francisco trying to get this bag back, And it was a lot. Then somebody started chasing us because somebody hit us and we hit somebody else. Then we pulled off chasing the car. So we left the scene of but we already done hit that car. So yeah, it was a mess. But
All in making a movie.
Oh yeah,
It's
the
to finish
movie
this
about making
film.
the movie.
That's a
That
movie
is
in
the
itself.
movie about making the
Yeah.
movie, but this movie is about a botanical super formula that make weed grow in 3 weeks instead of 3 months. So the Albanian mob is after it. Well, they do what they have to do to obtain it. Go to set up the deal. Mike Martin sends his guys, Mikey Eckstein, Billy Vasily, their characters, to go and do the deal, and a mix-up happened, and it ended up in the hands of Diesel, G, BH, and Scope. Smoke
The
gang.
wrong guys.
Yeah, the wrong guys. But they really, they on their smoke gang shit. They ain't no hoes, but they,
Nope.
they moving around trying to figure out what is this and is it worth some money. So they go meet Corey, and Corey tell them where to go meet Trick Trick. I'm summing it up in the real names.
Yeah.
And then when they come to me, I tell them, yeah, that's big. That's big.
And this is you're gonna be able to stream this right on
Yes, on Amazon.
Prime.
Yes, tomorrow.
So
Tomorrow. What time is it? Like midnight tonight, or is it
That's a good question.
Okay.
Let's just say
tomorrow?
tomorrow.
All right.
How
I'm on it.
different was it, OG, to have the soundtrack? Because usually, isn't it the movie's made and then they come to artists like yourself and say, "Hey, we need a track for this, for this movie and stuff." You had the soundtrack already made,
ready.
so
Yeah.
it was sort of like, was it like reverse engineering, so to speak? Like in to your original process of how you think to write a song and doing the movie, and you mentioned you had a lot of people sort of help you, but that had to be a different experience in itself, right? Because you're sort of narrating.
Yeah, though music and film are kind of the same, they're very different. And whenever I'm doing music, it's always about the vibe into the music. So when you finish the music is like here. And then you go to film, you write the film according to the vibe, or and a lot of times for me that's music. And I know, once these scenes are done from this story I'm telling, I know I have the music to put over it. Like the car show where they go see Corey.
Yeah.
In my mind, while we were filming that, the song that's playing in the movie was in my head when we was filming. So it's like, okay, capture that car, go low on this car, go wide and let that car bounce up, and because I can hear the beat, boom, 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 in my head, But, it's a fun process overall, just, the total getting it together, writing it, producing it, directing it, and working with all those amazing people to come out to an amazing product.
See, Trick, to a lot of people, they see him as just this badass. But to me, he's like the Dan Campbell of the streets, right? Everybody thinks Dan Campbell's just a meathead. He doesn't know a damn thing about
my
football.
man's a doctor, bro.
But not Trick.
You might know my man's a doctor.
But like people like, oh, Trick. He did the song with Eminem, but they don't understand that you've been heavily involved in licensing for a long time. You're heavily involved in the video, obviously the music industry,
producing,
all that, the producing. Everything. So like
expungements,
the behind the scenes, the behind the scenes that you
zones.
do. A lot. That's right. A lot of people don't understand.
No fly zone.
No fly zone.
No fly zone.
Right?
I still pull up that. I mean, I still pull up that old GPR video when their poor program director had to walk up on stage and be like, "There is a man outside with 50 other men, and Rick Ross will not be performing tonight. He is on his bus, scared for his life." Like that's one of the all-time radio classic moments here in Detroit.
You know what I love too? You know what? And why people should check this out? Because you capture the city.
I don't know either.
Right? You capture the city. Like filming in the city. How was it to be able to, like, this is a film when we're watching just the preview where you're seeing, I know that spot. I know that spot. I know. Like, how big was that for you to showcase and show off your city?
It was, you know, especially on the east side, it's, you know, people going to know, like, yo, that's down the street from my house, or, you know. But I couldn't imagine filming nowhere else but Detroit because I know every corner, I know every back road. I know how to avoid traffic. I know how I'm one with it, you know.
It's your city. Go ahead.
Even as I'm moving around filming, like on an exterior logo, you know, we get so much support from the community and from, you know, like law enforcement, and, you know, it's just like they're there to help instead of. So it's so much. It's just a lot of love. So, you know, I can't imagine filming. No, I'm finna do a series called Gang Squad, and it's, you know, all in Detroit. So,
cool, like a ride along, like a
no, an actual
series. Like a power ish.
Yeah, we had that type series.
Like that type
series, right? Yeah.
Oh, dude, stay tuned.
I got some pretty good acting chops. If you need,
if you need a cop, you'd be a great cop with that mustache.
Yeah.
You need extra strict with
You got it, buddy.
The chat's going nuts, shouting you out. You know,
Much
Trick,
love,
the
family.
OG,
Much
Detroit's
love.
boogeyman in the house. Wish Trick was here yesterday for the top 5 list.
Yeah, he was not.
Yeah, we do a top 5 list every Wednesday. Why, Spenny?
It's half as boring as a top 10 list.
And yesterday, in honor of Black History Month, right? We did
top 5 black men.
Top 5 favorite black men. And Kenny KG, how did we do?
I think we did pretty
And
well.
you tell us, dude, represented and
it didn't go off the rails.
Respectfully, it wasn't off the rails.
That's all you could ask for.
So making sure that we do that. Is that the next step? You writing any more music?
Always. I'm in the studio every day, so I'm, you know, based in East Side. So
Blue
I'm
Room?
The Blue Room, right? So I'm my compound is, you know, studio, radio, live, you know, and film. So I'm always at my desk from one computer to the other, whether it's writing or mixing or voiceover producing or repairing or trailer or music video. It's just like, so it's you know.
I've witnessed. I've sat there and watched you create songs and watching your process, and it's just amazing to feel the vibe of the room or whatever. How long did it take? For perspective, to record an album and then to shoot this film. How long was the shooting that we're gonna see? Did it take you?
The actual shooting probably lasted about a month, but because we only filmed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we were 4 days a week. So it took us about a month, about a month total. We were knocking the locations out. Then we came up on one location. Like, shout out to my guy who owned the Russell.
Russell.
He let us do what we do. You know, shout out to the I forgot the name of the restaurant. Man, it's over here off Jefferson. They let us use the basement. of this restaurant. It was fucked up. I'm glad, probably good I didn't remember the fucking name of it, huh?
Yeah.
That basement was fucked up, bro. We utilized the shit out of this basement.
Utilize the shit out of that basement. So The Last 24 is the name of the movie. It's dropping tomorrow on Amazon Prime, so everybody make sure that you're streaming it, KG.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Trick, because you've been very influential in the city, the community, been behind some of the greatest eras in music. When you just look at the landscape today and how it's evolved, Detroit rap is pretty much on the map, man. You got guys like T, Sada, that have carried the torch from your era where it was Proof, it was M, 50 different people.
50 ain't from here.
Oh, wait, I know that. I was just saying in general, though. But but what can you just talk about the evolution of Detroit music and what are some of the artists that you rock with in today's generation?
I'm proud of it. I'm proud to have been to be a part of a permanent imprint in the legacy of Detroit hip hop as a whole, from starting back to Awesome Dre and the Hardcore Committee, AWOL, Detroit's Most Wanted, Smiley, GBK, Prince Vincent and Hip Hop Force back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yep. All
the way to 42 Doug. Shout out to 42 Doug.
Big shout out.
Yeah, nephew. Shout out to nephew. That's some inside shit, fellas. Shout out to my nigga 42 Doug. That way. Detroit shit. Vezo, my nephew, Ant Beats, Peasy, Payroll,
shout out,
Doughboys, all the team Eastside. It's a hell of a Kid J. Like Kid J is the cleanest artist you've ever heard. This guy, he got a stellar. Like look at this guy. He's got a stellar award. Who the fuck? You know what I mean? Like this kid is amazing. He clean. You know what I mean? He's an example. You know what I mean? And you got these young millionaires. You know what I mean? That's something to be. I salute them, and I'm Uncle Trick gonna always be here for whatever any of them need. I don't do no separation. It's all of us. One Detroit.
Yes, sir.
You did?
Amen.
It's one Detroit.
One Detroit.
So it's us. Like they said, Detroit versus everybody. But but it ain't about versus everybody because don't nobody want them real problems.
Yeah, they don't.
But it's about us being together as us.
Yeah.
The Lions, the Pistons, the Red Wings, the Tigers, all that.
100%.
East side, west side, 7 miles, 6 miles.
When you're traveling
Puritan.
around the country,
All of it.
what's the narrative on Detroit music right now? Like,
They
what's
love
the
it.
respect?
They love it.
It's dominating.
You know what? It'd be so amazing because a lot of times I'm in different cities doing cannabis licensing business, and I always run into Detroit artists when I'm out of town, and they like doing their tours or doing shows. I run into Vez a lot on the road.
Nice.
So it's a beautiful thing to be out there, handling executive affairs and running into the young, amazing talent, So.
But it's a great example too, though, OG, because that's the whole thing is that I've always said is the way that you've always led the way through everything, good, bad, right, or wrong. This is what it is. This is who I am, and let it to bring us all together. Like talk about you mentioned that because this is your city and your sports teams, and whether it's the Lions and the Pistons, like. It's almost like the perfect storm. We talk about it all the time here at Woodward. Just they're playing the right way, right? They're playing the right way. Like back in our day, it was,
the unit
representing, and
yeah.
you know what I mean.
It was about it was about the team, about us as a city, not just us as a city, but as it relates to teams. A team is what it is. It's all the players, the key players make a team. It's up to you to do your job so I can do mine. It's up to me to do my job so everybody else who's playing with me can do ours. And when you have that understanding, like you said, having fun in the locker room and creating that actual brotherhood of, you know what I mean? I'm not just going to protect you because I'm getting paid to. I'm gonna protect you because I wish a motherfucker would hit you. Right? You know what I mean?
Dude, but that
it's a different kind of love and respect.
Absolutely. Right
You
to the
gonna
fouls.
sacrifice, like, you know what I mean? Sacrifice goes a long motherfucker way.
No, that's
Clearly.
true.
You know what I mean? We live in right now in the results of sacrifice. Every single day we are living a result of sacrifice. Somebody made some goddamn well. So we gotta be more appreciative of that by being willing to sacrifice more. It don't mean go without. It means sometimes not doing what you want to do what's needed to be done.
Preach.
That's a bar.
Yeah, that is a bar.
That-
Look who you talking to, though.
That was yeah.
Facts.
But,
Yeah, who you talking to?
Yeah, man.
But honestly, hopefully that's part of the culture everybody feels here at Woodward Sports. I mean, you came on like our first month when we started Woodward Sports 4 years ago, right? We asked you about biting kneecaps and had the whole fun with Dan Campbell and all. You said you never bit any kneecaps, but you shot a few kneecaps here and there. But no, that's the thing. Like, this city, Detroit, is so unique. I've had the opportunity to work in Chicago and New York, and nobody cares for their city like Detroit does. Like Howard Stern, I always say this about radio. Howard Stern lost in Detroit. This is one of the only markets he lost because he wasn't local. People here only care about local. They only care. Look at our numbers on YouTube. They only care about
Did you hear
the
what Kenny brought up? Did he say? You ain't from here, bro.
Yeah, well, I knew
Right.
that. I'm just saying the era of music.
Does Exhibit get the pass? Exhibit gets the pass, though, right? He's from here.
Yeah, Exhibit from the
Yeah,
D.
yeah.
I mean, you know, everybody get a pass.
Yeah,
right.
But it's
But you
like,
can't
you know,
claim it.
it's like you get a pass, but
Hey, maybe we should ask even Neil get a pass.
Yeah, no, Neil ain't getting no pass.
He drives an EV and has 2 furnaces. Does he get a
Neil ain't
pass?
getting the pass.
yeah, and I'm not the only one who give or revoke passes now. I just enforce it differently.
Yeah.
Some other people who be like, nah, we ain't having that shit.
Right. Gotta check in, man.
Yeah.
Gotta check in. Somebody anonymous in our chat wanted me to ask him about the Big T thing.
What thing?
The Big T.
The Big T.
Big T.
Big T thing.
Yep.
We can't just like.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Go ahead.
All right. So Trick.
Yes.
No. And if I'm out of line, just please. But you know, can you
T?
just give us
Trump.
like some insight
Fucking
into
president.
Right.
Yeah, but can you get? But,
KG's from KG? Not a fan.
no, it's not even about that. But
Bunch
can
of
you
people
just
ain't.
somebody in the chat?
Look at
wanted
the
me-
map,
No,
the election map.
Somebody
There were
did-
2 choices.
Yeah, I feel
One
you.
or the other.
I feel you. Somebody
Yeah.
in the chat wanted me to ask you like about the experience with Trump. Like, how was it? How
Hey,
is
this
he?
nigga
Like-
cool as hell, cuz. I ain't gonna front, dog. Trump cool in the motherfucker, bro. He ain't no uppity ass. You know what I mean? And, bro, even still, it's not hard to get him on the phone. Like, bro, I've never been in touch with an American president, like, never even thought that it would be possible. But thanks to Kid Rock, that's his friend.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, cuz back in the day, I used to be like, fuck Trump. Then I talked to my friend who voted different than me, and that did not change our friendship. You know what I mean? I was under the influence of the media when I started to ignore the media and study for myself and research for myself. The information that I gathered brought me to a point of making a decision like, okay, well then at that point, if I'm gonna make that kind of judgment, if my judgment is that important, then let me talk to somebody he know. And he tell me about him, okay, well now I hear you and I see what I see for myself. Hook me up, introduce me to him. And he did.
I think that endorsement, when I saw it happen live, my jaw was on the floor because I know Mikey, I know you, and like the juxtaposition of what people think you're supposed to be to what you actually are.
Man, I
and
do
how
what
you
the
think
fuck I want,
exactly.
bro. Don't nobody tell me what the fuck to do.
Right.
I don't give a fuck who they is, bro.
People
They
think,
don't.
people
Yeah,
think,
man,
oh, he's this, he has to be
Man,
this.
eat a dick. Excuse my French, bro. Don't nobody tell me what the fuck to do,
Hey,
cuz.
you guys wonder who I was raised by?
I don't care, bro. I don't know. Who the fuck do people see? That's the problem.
That's
We
it.
had 2 choices, cuz. One or the other. I'm gonna make my motherfucking decision. That don't got nothing to do with nobody else. Kudos to whoever picked whatever they wanted to pick.
Right.
That's what we get. It's 2 choices.
But you could have kept that to yourself, right? Like you.
But guess what?
But you gotta
somebody
vote.
I know who I've been in communication with for over a year and some change, who running for president, and I know the type of resources that my community is starving for.
Yeah, that part.
Now I got the plug. I got the motherfucking plug. And
Like
trust
the
me,
plug.
I'm already plugging the right people with the right people.
Yeah.
And what my purpose and my agenda is getting taken care of because that's what I care. Y'all already know how we started talking about what I care about. Detroit.
Yep.
Yes. So, if
So-
you're from the city right here, listen to what my man is saying right here. Is the fact is that it's not only words, it's actions. And you know what? If the accountability to Uncle Trick right there.
Yeah,
You're
right, man.
coming down.
I owe no motherfucker explanation for nothing.
It's a fact.
Amen.
Nothing in my life. I don't do no apologizing. I didn't do what I did. I didn't go up there to say, hey, everybody in this building was already rallying for him.
Right.
That's why they was there. It was a rally.
Mm-hmm.
I got called back that morning by them to come and pull up cuz want to see me. No problem. Shit. Because keep in mind, it's a fucking billionaire too.
Yeah, right.
They also write community checks.
They do.
They also donate to foundations.
He's a businessman, is he not?
Thank you.
He's not a politician. He's a
No, he's not a
businessman.
politician. That's why he politically correct is what some people understand, and that's the only thing they understand. Oh, you got to be this way. You got to be this way. You got to be this way. Somebody will say, why you wear your hair like that, but you wear your hair how the fuck you want to.
Amen.
They can't tell you how to do that. They can't tell you how to be daring.
That's it.
You can't tell. I mean, he got to serve America. That's his job. That's his purpose. He got to be a person he got to be a businessman because America's a corporation. It's got to be ran like a business, and it's got to be ran where the people in the country make the goddamn money, not get fucked out of it.
Amen.
And you need a nigga that's gonna go in there and kick some ass and flip some shit over. And what the fuck is this? What y'all spending this money on? What is this shit over here?
Right.
Really? That's what y'all spending money on? And these people homeless in these North Carolina folks got burned out. Listen, Flint water still ain't all the way together.
No, it's not.
But you got more crisis and more problems and more communities, more uneducated children than ever before, bro. This place ain't in the greatest space, especially when, let's go so far as to say, I wish a man would follow my daughter in the bathroom. I don't give a fuck about fighting the case. But at one point, bro, that shit was legal. For that man to go in the bathroom behind my daughter, bitch, I'll kill you.
Facts.
You know, well, I don't care how the fuck we get to this point. At this point, it's like, hey, men of the world, we have a problem. Our children's lives are being violated. Our children's minds are being tampered with and violated. We need to do something about it right goddamn now.
Yeah.
Well, man, I can't tell you how much I appreciate not only what you've done for this city, but now what you've done for this country. Putting your stamp on that, I think, woke some people up in different lights, even if it's just to get them to think critically.
Well,
right?
here's
That's
the one
all.
thing. At the end of the day, we're hearing your truth. Everybody's got a truth. Preach your truth. Live your truth.
Truth is the truth. You
Truth
can
is
see
the
it for
truth.
yourself. You don't gotta, feelings and emotions don't got nothing to do with the truth. Yeah, I don't deal in feelings or emotions. I deal on facts. And the facts was, I knew I was looking at the man that was finna be president of the United States.
And another fact is, this movie's dropping tomorrow on Amazon
Yes,
Prime,
sir.
The Last
Amazon
24.
Prime.
Make
Yes.
sure you're watching it. Make sure
Point
you're
of viewing.
rewatching it. Make sure you're sending it to
The
your
Last
friend.
24.
Support The Last 24. Support the city. Support Trick. Support everybody that's in that damn movie. Darren, you seem to know everybody.
It's great. I'm looking forward to seeing the city, the soundtrack. I'm watching everything, and I knew where you went wrong in that movie. Why you making Mikey pick up the bag, bro? He's supposed to be on the phone. Thanks, Doc.
He
Love
was
you, bro.
the most smartest one out of that gang, kind of.
We all know that. We all know
Mikey
that.
Eckstein.
Well, Trick, you're welcome here anytime. You know that. Thank you for supporting this network from the jump, too. Really appreciate that, man. And D-Mac, tell them about Lady Jane's. Got your haircut.
Absolutely. Trick mentioned my hair. If you want some like it, Lady Jane's, they take the chore to getting a haircut. Talented stylists deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treat. 7 days a week, walking anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help. WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Hey, do you like wearing clothes? I hope so, because it's cold as hell outside. We got those hoodies up for you, the Let's Fucking Go Red Wings. We got Tigers stuff. We got opening day stuff. We got new Pistons stuff dropping, like the Threesley shirt and more. Plus, April in the D stuff is up as well. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and grab your new gear.
What about Feldman?
Feldman, what about him? I mean, they're only Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Neil Rule shops there, and that's all you need to know. If Neil Rule shops there, you know you're going to get treated with that white glove treatment. They're going to give you the best of the best, and they're going to give you an EV like Neil has. Chevrolet, pretty much in Novi is where we're at. Come on out, hang out when we do the live broadcast with D-Mac at Feldman Chevrolet. All right, welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. I feel like the show name was very appropriate for today because there was some Big D Energy coming through your screen.
Yeah, in the city right there,
Yeah.
preaching of what it is. So take it for what it is. Always great to have. Make sure you check out Last 24. I just love the fact that it's in the city, by the city, you know, and I'm friends with most of the cast.
Yeah, you saw it in that one shot, Belle Isle in the background of that office shot. So it's always cool when movies are shot here in Detroit, like Four Brothers. You like going back and watching that one. What was it, Out of Sight back in the day with Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, Transformers was filmed here.
Yeah, at the train station, which now is awesome.
What about
Batman, Superman, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was cool when the movie
and the
thing was
local
here.
stuff, Plug Love. If you know, you know.
I was actually a
Buffed
stand-in on one of the movies, Real Steel, that robot movie. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah,
So Kevin Durand was the bad guy actor in there, and I was the stand-in for him. So that means I was just like human furniture. They dressed me in what he was wearing.
Oh, wow.
I'd go stand on the set on his X. They'd adjust all the lights and everything to me, and then they go, "Get the fuck out of here! The real actor's coming in." And then he'd walk
like the
in,
same
lights would
size
be.
or
We're about
whatever?
to, yeah. That's how it
So
got.
they get the shadows, right?
Yep. We were the same size, and you know
So
he's
in
actually
he's in his
built,
trailer
though.
sipping mimosas, and you're standing out there sweating your balls off.
Yeah. It was honestly like I
Hey,
wanted
anybody
to
will
do
do
it because I
anything for
thought it'd be
$20,
cool,
bro.
but it was a nightmare for $20 an hour. Like it was like, why am I sitting out here? But it was a cool experience. I don't think I'd ever do it again. But yeah, I really liked when the movies were here.
Stick, will you make a list of jobs you've done? Like just gigs,
Odd jobs.
like just sticks. Because I bet you there's like 100.
Oh yeah, I mean I've hosted Hmong New Year's parties. like the Hmong people.
Shout out.
The Asian people hosted their New Year's party. I was the only white dude in there and probably the only dude over 6 foot in there. It was a really strange event. But, yeah, I got random stuff that's popped in my head like that. And we used to, with Channel 955, drag races, make dads dress up like girls and make them race in high heels for Taylor Swift tickets and stuff. Posted lots of events, T-Man.
Hey, Spenny, do we have any, do we need any super chats or anything updated?
Yeah, wow. Shout out to Sergeant Curtis Schultz.
Star Wars Squawk Box.
$50 in the chat with the 100.
big dog.
I'm assuming that's in support of Trick, so shout out to him. We got a lot of super chats in there.
Read them off.
Shout out to Lifestyle with Chris. He said, shout out to Uncle Trick 48205 Red Zone. Freddie Fell 313 said, you ever riding with us or you're getting rolled on DVE. JZJ, much love for Trick. And again, shout out to Sergeant Curtis Schultz. All the super chats in there. Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
People asking where I worked in Chicago. 103.5 KISS FM. Yeah. It was 103.5 when I got there, but the whole big meeting, we removed the point.
Oh, wow. Big marketing move.
I'm telling you, man, radio is so granular when it came to that. Hey, what do you guys think about removing the point?
So then what was it?
It went from 103.5 to 103.5.
103.5.
Yeah, it's just radio.
Stupid.
Like the shit people worried about in radio, like how to say W was like part of the Specs Howard course of radio. Like,
oh wow,
like nobody
I never
ever
got that
cared
course.
how you said W.
Yeah,
and nobody ever cared if you said point or you didn't say point. But some radio stations were very adamant. No, we are 103.5.
Oh my god.
So yeah, radio's a wild place. But let's get back to Detroit sports. I mean, Trick having him in here,
legend.
Dude,
man, legend.
The guy loves the city. I mean, if there's one thing, you could disagree with him on whatever you want, but he loves this city, and you could tell he's passionate about these sports teams coming through, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It gets exciting for all of us. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and since this is going to be kind of a shorter break because we ran long with Trick, Cade's nickname. Can we settle on a nickname for Cade Cunningham? Because yesterday, after the post game, what did he roll with? Mellow Yellow?
Yeah.
He said no.
Tim Hardaway came up to him in the post game shit and called him that.
Okay.
He said he just wanted to be called Cade.
He said he's just Cade.
But that's not how it's going to work. They're going to give him a nickname.
I think that's what he's just. I mean, Deuce, I'm fine
Deuce,
with, but
Cunningham.
Cade, it's like you look at all the best basketball players. Yeah, some of them have nicknames, but they're known by one name. LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, Shaq, Wilt. Like, yeah, they have this. Nobody's like, hey, the Stilt's coming into town. Or,
right.
Hey, throw on those Diesel highlights.
Right.
No, it's put on those Shaq highlights. Put on those Kobe highlights. So I'm Cade. Just Cade.
Cade. So, like, just get rid of his last name.
Yeah.
Like, he's like Madonna.
He's
like
just Cade.
an
Like
icon.
Seal. Yeah.
Like Seal.
Yeah.
Seal is a seal.
I think you're right, and put a cape on him.
You love that
Just put a cape. Cade with a cape. That's it.
Well, we had the Cade Crusader.
That's
That
what
was
I'm
another
saying.
one.
So it's just Cade.
Just Cade.
That's it. With that, I like the.
Just Cade is fine.
As simple as that.
Because I've never been a fan of Motorcade or any of the other nicknames previous to that. The only one I kind of rock with was Cade Icewood, but it's a little mouthy. So.
I like Deuce. Like if you
Deuce
gotta
is
give
good.
him a nickname, you gotta call him by a nickname. Which these love Pistons Twitter. These kids on Pistons Twitter are obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Deuce. Just call him Deuce.
Just call him Deuce?
Yeah.
Let's go to the Woodward Sports chat. Motorcade or Cade says I harder. Cade Icewood, Cody Inglewood is a strong one. People are arguing, though, that Cade Icewood can't be like a national nickname.
No, I can't.
Nobody really knows who Blade Icewood is.
Yeah, exactly.
But you see NFL
but it's
players
for us,
do it.
man.
Right.
It's for us.
Right. It ain't for them, right?
Yeah.
Cade says, just call me Cade. Motorcade. Let's see. Motorcade, obviously, from Jonesy. Cade for governor, says Steve. Lord Cunningham from ARF.
It's distinguished.
And the assist from Lord Cunningham.
Right.
I don't know if that one really flows. Let's see. The Cadenator.
Nah.
You know, Steve-O Baby says the Cadenator.
I broke down. Like I think the Sonic and Knuckles thing kind of makes people want to give everybody nicknames, and not everybody needs a nickname. I like I said, Cade, it's perfect. Like Kobe, Bron.
But doesn't
Luka.
it to legitimacy too? So now we're talking about, does he get a nickname? Does he whatever? If you get a nickname, you stay in this sort of category as he elevates his status, right? Where we agree he's top 10 player in the league, 5 to 10, right? Somewhere in there, no matter what you're saying, when he cracks that top 5 or whatever, that's when you start calling him by one name.
Burn with the super chat. As long as it's not the paradox or, quote, the professor of ethics, it'll never catch on. Cadillac Cade from JB Smooth.
Nah.
Cade Code from JB Smooth.
Cadillac Dale might have a problem with that.
Right.
The Sizzler. We going Sizzler.
Right,
We
don't touch me
going
on
Sizzler.
I call Beasley the Sizzler. Mark Beasley's more of a sizzler than because he's sizzling the shake.
Yeah.
He's like bacon when he hits his three.
Should be.
Call him bacon.
Cadillac Cade. I like Cadillac Cade. For the Pistons, Cadillac Cade.
It's not Detroit.
Kool-Aid's here. Kool-Aid, sit in the chair real quick. Cage-free Cade. I like that one.
Yeah.
Cage-free Cade. Kool-Aid,
What's the buzz around the room?
Yeah,
what do the boys in the room call?
What do the writers call them?
Just Cade right now.
Is it just Cade?
If I hear anything, it's motorcade. If I hear it from anybody else, and I know that's what the NBA and All-Star Weekend, they started to push motorcade. I know Cade just wants Cade. And there was one person who responded to a Woodward Sports post on socials about the nickname. And they said, you know what? We think Cade is the type of player that's going to be known like Shaq and Kobe. First name, one name, that's all it is, because he's that type of player. All business, all work. Cade. That's what he said on the broadcast.
And you know what? It's true, though. Doesn't sort of need a nickname, right? Like these type of players, whatever, it's just sort of like the one word star comes to you.
And I feel that,
And
but I'm still
no
like,
business.
man, find a nickname for him.
Marmalade Cade.
But they won't be nicknames; they'll be pet names more.
Marmalade Cade.
That's funny.
It's just funny because I've
Like,
never
I'll give you an
never
example.
seen so much debate over somebody's nickname. Like you're seeing it all over
It's
Pistons
wild.
Twitter, what they're calling them, what they're not calling them, what they can call them, what they
Can
can't
I give
call
you an
them. It's just like-
example? Do you guys know what Steve Eiserman's nickname in the locker room is? Because only everybody calls him Stevie Y
Cap.
or whatever. No,
Captain.
no. Silk.
Sulk?
Silk.
Silk.
Smooth.
Because he's
Smooth as
smooth.
silk.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
No
Silk.
way.
So
Silk works for Cade.
Silk.
You know what?
Silk. That
Cade,
has
the
always
shocker.
been Steve Eisner. Smooth as silk, right? Like drapes his nails, tough as nails, right? You know what I'm saying?
Smooth
so
as
something
silk.
like that. So maybe there's a new silk in town.
Cade rock out there with the perm.
Cobra Cade. The Black Stallion. Ooh.
But I'd listen around. See,
Let's break that one
Kool-Aid,
down.
to
That
my
was John
point,
F.
what do they
Lord.
call him in the room?
Silk. CC Deuce. The Sandman says that. Mark says just Caddy. Or Katie, I guess.
CC Duke.
USD Cade.
That reminds me too much of what's his name from the Lions that went to Philly.
Oh,
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
CJ.
That doesn't.
Silk
ruin
is
the-
too feminine. How about Snake? Solid Snake.
That's so whack.
Cub
All
Coda
of these
from
are
Bro-
so whack.
Dude,
All right, Spitty over there.
Like I
Like,
said,
no,
it's
no.
just Cade. Just leave it at Cade.
just Cade.
That's how he
Yeah.
said he wanted. Like, if you want it, if you need to hang on to something to call him the paradox, whatever you want. Deuce is what he goes by. You know what his teammates call him, other than Cade, is Deuce. So
Yeah.
all right, what about Planet Fitness?
You know what I call Planet Fitness? My nickname for Planet Fitness?
P-Fit.
The GOAT.
The best gym ever!
That's what he
Planet Fitness, 50 Metro Detroit locations. There's got to be one near you. Just drive around. You'll see that big purple sign with the thumbs up. That means come on in and get your black card. That includes the tanning. That includes the massages. Plus, like Neil Rule likes to point out, the weights weigh the same as anywhere else that you go. 50 pounds at Planet Fitness, 50 pounds at the expensive gym, too. It's crazy how it works. Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big Injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that is watching on YouTube right now, on Twitter, and, of course, Twitch. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, retweeting, telling your friends, doing all that good stuff. Where else are you going to get Trick and Darren McCarty in the same room? Like, this obviously was the most dangerous midday show of all time today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just sitting here. You wonder why, like, that's my OG, and I cherish the relationship and the, spitting the knowledge about being true to self.
Yeah.
Over that, then that's what it is. And I think that if you take it, it's do your own research, choose what you choose. I think the most poignant thing is my good friend who we disagree on, we're still friends.
Yep.
Like that's where we came from. Agree to disagree, but also open your eyes. And I think that anytime it's about the one thing that I know about that man right there is that he loves this city as much as anybody else and wants the best for it, and is not only talking about it, is being about it with everything he does. It's a great segue because it's like leadership, and you look at how we see it all over, right? Whereas I see Spenny has on the show sheet about JB Bickerstaff is he the Dan Campbell of the Lions. I think if you look at the coaching staff the coaches across the board, it's sort of like the three bears, but they all have a different personality on intensity. I would say that Todd McClellan and Dan Campbell are more intense individuals than AJ Hinch and JB Bickerstaff are, but the teaching, right? The education and the fact of the right way to play, no matter what sport we're talking about, is the fabric of Detroit. Right? It's the Detroit, like Trick said, versus everybody. Isn't versus everybody. It's coming together and supporting everybody. And that's what we get in the fandom. And that's what the excitement is right now. I mean, we're talking all four sports. The Tigers are underway down in Lakeland, pitchers and catchers and, exhibition season. So, I mean, this is like, I'm just grateful for the younger generation, the Chases, even the Spennies and stuff like this, who hasn't seen shit in so long that they get to experience now in their heyday stick like we did during our 20s.
And it shapes who you are. It really does. When your local sports teams have success, you walk a little taller. You have more in common with people. You're able to start a conversation with anybody in your community. You find common ground in that thing. And, like, it's such a bigger thing, like we were talking earlier with who we had a meeting with. Like, when Detroit sports do well, Detroit economy does well. Everything is better. Waitresses are making more money. Bartenders are making more money. People are traveling more. People are
sports, period. Every GM, every coach, and the way that their synergy is right now, it's on a whole nother level. That's a great point by you, Steve. It's on a whole nother level right now.
And that's what you're seeing, right? The way that they're all the GMs and whatever working together, and even the conversation we have and the frustration is, are we gonna get somebody with the Tigers or whatever? At least they're trying to make calls and trying to make moves. So this is only motivation. And what you like too, all these teams are relatively young, right? Like this reminds me more like mid '90s,
right?
Like we're
growing.
The sunshine's ahead of us, right? To work through it for all our teams. So now's the greatest time ever to invest, and there's reasons why, because of leadership from the top, even on down, even to whatever else. Like you mentioned about Tom Gores, and with Spenny, you brought up the fact that when he cut that check and said, "Get out of my town. This is not what we're doing here." That's accountability too.
Well, you got to have respect for Tom Gores in two ways on that move, right? He went out and got the high-dollar coach that he knew he had to overpay for in Monty Williams. We didn't know Monty Williams was just going to cash the check and mail it in, right? But then he sees, all right, I paid this guy a crazy amount of money. He's coming in. He's essentially stealing from me. How do I solve this? Well, I can hang on and make him coach for $13 million a year and try to get my money's worth, or I got enough money, I'm just going to make the problem go away, and he solved the problem, right? A lot of guys would hang on. Well, that's what I committed to. I'm not going to waste $13 million. He didn't care, because look at the dividends he's making on the back end. That $13 million that he's spending on Monty Williams, it'll be probably the best $13 million he's ever spent in his life.
Yeah, $70 million.
Yeah, but this year, 13.
Oh, yeah.
13 is what he would have been paid this year, because I saw a rundown of the highest paid coaches, and Monty's still sitting at 5.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's still sitting at number 5 right now. So I'm glad he was able to not only, like, credit, he made the mistake. He signed Monty Williams. That was on him. But he also owned up to it, paid the price, and has moved on in such a great way with J.B. Bickerstaff.
And if we didn't sign Monty Williams, we'd probably never have J.B. Bickerstaff. So
facts.
Sometimes, shit.
pay the tax.
But it goes back to the Tyrese Halliburton thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we draft Halliburton, we probably don't have Cade.
Yeah.
But you got Killian Hayes. The team
The
continued to
basketball
suck.
gods set a path for us, and it was rough, and it was full of tribulations, but we're seeing the brighter tomorrows.
All you need is just a little patience.
Yep, exactly.
You're running thin. Yeah, absolutely.
Cade's got his Cade. I just called you Cade.
Yeah.
Chase.
I know, but I just called him Cade. That's it. Chase had his lighter up over there while
But
D-Mac was
you know
singing.
what? Like, and then the final piece to this, and whether it's the GM, whether it's the coaches or whatever, you know what it is?
What?
They're all self-aware of their players. They know them individually. When you look at, like, they know, and they're putting their players in the best spot to succeed. That's what we haven't seen in the past. Asking guys to do stuff outside of their character. Right? So that's all part of coaching too.
And what's really exciting about the Pistons to me is in the past, when the Pistons have been successful, they've changed the way the NBA has played. You saw it with the bad boys. They beat up Michael Jordan a little too much. All right, we got to change the rules. You saw it with the 04 Pistons. They're holding too many people to under 65 points. We got to change the rules. The Pistons may be bringing defense back to the NBA, like single-handedly, because every league is a copycat league, right? And when you could take a team that's absolute dog shit and turn them into the number 4 seed with some new parts, big new parts, but mostly a new mentality of playing, then the rest of the league is going to follow suit. Like, oh, damn, we do have to coach defense again. Oh, my God, this is a two-way system where you can't just jack up 50 three-pointers a game and say, well, that's our offensive and defensive strategy. So hopefully this gets to a point where the Pistons succeed so much where they change back the NBA to watchable basketball again, too.
But isn't it the evolution? Because it hasn't rescinded back to the 80s, 90s Pistons, 70, 80 point, defensive stuff.
I won't go there.
What it's gone is it's the effort throughout the game to whatever it is. And then what else? They have what the game evolved into is a 3-point. They got a guy who is the most lethal, one of the most lethal 3-point shooters. He's hitting like 6 threes, 15. Like the execution.
Right.
That's the thing is they're executing. It's one thing to play great defense if you can't put it in on the other end or use that to your advantage. That's what we saw last night. Full court press, turn the ball over, move it down the field, shimmy, shake, 3.
I bet.
Do that a couple times, and boom. Next thing you know, you're up 8, you're up 10.
I bet Asar Thompson to have 2+ steals last night. He had 4 in the first quarter.
Yep, literally.
Miguel M with the $9.99 super chat. Make sure you get your super chats in if you want to jump the line and get it read on the air. This year is going to be it for Detroit sports. All 4 big sports are playoff contenders. I'm praying for the Lions or Tigers ship. Detroit has been starving for so long, it would be fitting for the Lions. Listen, man, a Lions championship, I think we all hypothesize what that would look like. Cause
that's the one.
Because there is history of, Red Wings parades on Woodward. They were amazing. Pistons parades on Woodward. They were amazing. Tigers, obviously, that was back in '84, so that was a long time ago. But I think we've all recently at least seen the Tigers in the World Series
a couple times.
Right. I've been to a World Series game in Comerica Park.
Right.
The Lions, man. I still can't even fathom what that parade
Place
is
will
going
burn
to
to
look
the
like.
ground.
Yeah,
Like, the city will burn, dude.
The infrastructure ain't ready for it.
Well, it usually starts like Midtown, but like to me, the Lions parade is going to have to start at M1
shit
Concourse
is going to
and go
Pontiac,
all the way down.
That
Like
shit
that's
is
just
gonna
how
be
it has
horrible.
to be. Because there's going to be people. I mean, you saw the draft.
Yeah.
750,000 people.
Y'all thought the Rose was fucked up before. Wait till the Lions win the Super Bowl. Oh my God.
D-Mac, what's it like to be on those floats when you look over to the side and you see?
It's amazing, and I remember like the first one. I think 1.4 million people. I mean, it reminded me of this is what it must have been, ticker tape parade coming back from the war in New York. That you see black and white photos because you're driving down, you can't see grass anywhere. There's people hanging out of buildings, and it's just a celebration. And I remember standing at Hart Plaza, looking back to all the people. You couldn't see cement or grass or anything like that, and the vibe there for like just the love and what Trick was talking about is everybody being together and celebrating.
Yep.
That's the best part. We can have that many people downtown, and there's not incidents. We're all there for the right reason. So it's amazing every time. The first time just was incredible. But to say that, there'll probably be 5 million people downtown.
It would have to be, right? Like you said, how many? 1.2 million in 1997.
Yeah, 1.4.
1.4 million in 1997. I mean, here we are many years later, and if it's the Lions, you're going to be at least 2.5 million, at least double that. I would say, just because it's never been done. You working out over there, Spenny?
No, we got to go to break.
What are we talking about?
Caesars.
Hey, you want to bet on one of the 4 sports teams, or maybe you want to run a parlay, right? Every Detroit sports team to make their finals. You can do it. Caesars Sportsbook. Use code word Woodward 1000 and you'll get 1000 as a bonus bet if your bet loses. So make sure you get in today. Scan that QR code above my head. Caesars Sportsbook.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
And John Morton, I mentioned this before. We were together here in 22. I've been with him with the Saints. He was kind of part of the group when we put this thing together. He was a part of this, and so I felt like that was the best move for us, was to get him back here. Somebody that I have a lot of trust in, faith in, golf knows, comfortable with, and he's got a good rapport with Hank, Brew, and then adding the additions that we have with obviously David Shaw. Those two go way back. He and John Morton, which was big for us. Tyler Roll, young guy, Iowa State running back coach, and then before that he was coordinator out there at North Dakota State. So interviewed him 2 years ago, and I was close then. And then this year was the right year, and then to get Tashard Choice was big. I didn't know if we were going to be able to pull that off, but that's outstanding. He's going to be great for us. He's probably one of the most coveted running back coaches come out of college in a while. So he's going to be great for those guys in the running back room. Certainly he's got a rapport with Gibbs. I think Montgomery's going to like him and help those guys get better.
Dan Campbell talking about the new assistant coaches, John Morton being the main topic there, who said a lot of people call him J-Mo, but since they already have a J-Mo, he's going to let that go. They could call him like Johnny Mo or something like that. Just Morton.
Yeah.
Morton. J-Mo. But the familiarity with bringing in a guy like that to help your squad, and you hear Dan Campbell mention Jared Goff and his being comfortable with what John Morton's going to do and what he's going to ask of this offense. That continuity before you have continuity, how valuable is that, Darren McCarty?
Well, I think it really is. The one thing that stands out to me is no matter what iteration of the coaching staff, Dan Campbell gets the guys that he wants at different times, or at least gets to talk to them. That's what part of being a destination is all about, and that's what he's built here. So no matter what he's talking about is the familiarity, because then it just goes to the systems. The fact he brought up Hank Fraley, the offensive line coach and stuff like this. So it's just synergies, and it should make you feel comfortable because it's sort of business as usual. And
right.
The system really doesn't change as much. The fact, what I love is, where was Johnny? Oh, so he left? Where'd he go? Oh, he went out to Denver. Why? Because did you hear what Dan Campbell said? It's the New Orleans coaching tree,
Yep.
Sean Payton. So he went out there to get a little bit more knowledge, to bring back a few more little tricks or whatever like that. But this is Dan Campbell. This is his coaching staff. And every year it just seems to solidify more and more and more, and getting the guys that he wants. That's the most important thing.
How much do you think that little bitch Ben Johnson talking all this shit the past couple of days resonates through that locker room about what they want to do? You don't think they care?
No. I don't think the shit talking the last few days started anything. I think this started a while ago, when you see where Neil brought up from his sources or whatever that there was sort of a philosophy rift in there. And, at the end of the day, bro, there's one alpha, and his name's Dan. So you know what? Like, that doesn't bother me. It's like, keep her moving.
I just don't.
Ben Johnson.
I just want to know what Ben Johnson's strategy is.
He's got to worry about, like, his quarterback painting his fingernails or something. I don't know.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like he's got other issues now, and he's not part of it.
It's not even about the Jared Goff thing. Like, honestly, Ben Johnson reminds me of a 21-year-old me when I go work for a radio station, then leave the radio station and try to torch everybody I used to work with. Now you're the enemy. I got to get ratings. Fuck you. All that stuff. And it's an immature mentality. And I'll admit, I was immature at that time and doing those types of things. And, you learn through life. And I think what he's doing is he's first time out, right? Mm-hmm. So now what's he doing? He's running his mouth against the team that gave him an opportunity. He's running his mouth against a quarterback which made his offense a top 4 in the NFL. Yeah. He's picking the fight with the people that made him. And I don't understand that. I understand taking a shot at LaFleur during your press conference, like looking forward to beating the Packers a couple times a year. That comes from, he's competitive. He wants to stoke that fire. This just comes from, he's petty, and he needs to be put in his fucking place. Yeah. Like, it's a little bit different now, the way he's approaching it, and I'm not, if there maybe is a psychological advantage that he's trying to gain, it may be very smart of him, but the way I'm looking at it is that he's just being an immature idiot who doesn't understand. You don't walk away from something that helped you build who you are and burn the bridge. Because look at John Morton. What if he would have left the Lions, toasted them, he wouldn't have been back right now. This was always
the plan, though. Like, I read into it that this was always the plan.
Yeah, it might have been.
No, because you were going to always lose Ben Johnson after last year or whatever like this, and the immaturity is just like, hey, congratulations. You got laid for the first time, Ben Johnson.
That's what it comes off like,
You know what I mean? We act like you've been there before.
And I don't know why. Like, I don't know the benefit. I don't know the psychological, because the Lions, talent for talent right now, are better than the Chicago Bears. Period.
Ben Johnson's a fucking dork, so he's got to do stuff like this.
Did we say dweeb? I said nerd.
Dweeb.
You said dweeb.
He's got to do stuff like this to be like, oh, look at our coach. he's hard. He's talking shit about those other guys, about his whole team. No, he's a fucking, even like the Penei Sewell one was an obvious joke, a lighthearted thing.
Right.
But he's such a dork and nobody laughed at it. Like, it's just, I don't know. He's not a leader of men. He's trying to do some shit. Like, Aaron Glenn wouldn't go up there and say, yeah, it sucks if our whole defense gets hurt. I'd love to be on a place where the defense stays healthy. Like, Aaron Glenn wouldn't do that because he's not a dork like Ben Johnson. And he doesn't need to do gimmicky shit to get his locker room to buy into what he's preaching.
The crash out of Ben Johnson could be one of the most epic flameouts of all time if he doesn't turn out to be what he was supposed to be, right?
Oh,
if he goes to Chicago and they just lay eggs the next 2 years, it's going to be one of the most hype guys to the worst.
Hondo said it perfectly yesterday. They fired Ditka. Like, you got to succeed or your ass is going to be gone.
Yeah. And you can't succeed with that offensive line. I don't care who your quarterback is, but then you double down that their quarterback is Caleb Williams. You especially can't win in the NFL.
Yes,
you just can't. So I don't understand this approach by Ben Johnson. Why would you piss off Dan Campbell? Why would you piss off the Lions? Like, you saw Kirby.
Yeah.
You saw him subtweeting.
Yeah.
They're hearing this. You're giving the Lions bulletin board material when you don't need to.
And that's why I said he's not stupid. He did this at the Combine as well, where all the NFL national media is there, and they're picking apart every single thing that you say. So, like you said, I just don't get it. It does come off a little one-upsmanship, kind of. It's passive-aggressive, I said yesterday. And I don't really know what he's getting at, but it's been weird.
D-Mac, did you ever have an assistant coach leave, go to another team, or let's even scale it to even teammates? Did you ever have someone leave and then just torch the entire organization?
I don't think so. No, torch. They could be mad at the coach. I know Dino was mad at the coach, and Scotty didn't get along. Like there's a lot of guys that Scotty Bowman wasn't the favorite
we all know Chelly and
but
Babs
moving
were
it
the
on
best
out
friends.
to like process. I don't think Keith Primo or Paul Coffey were too but it goes with the territory. But no, it's the professionalism and the maturitism, and it's at the end of the day, it's a job.
Yeah.
So I just think he's doing it for effect because he's got
Yeah,
it's in the
all.
division and he's got to show his ass or whatever.
It comes
I don't
across
know.
as the new
It's not
kid
a
at
good
school and
idea.
you're trying to be cool.
It's not a good idea. Why are you poking? Hey, they say don't poke a bear. Well, don't poke a lion.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he's torching the organization. I think that's a bit extreme, but I get what Spinney said. It's a gimmick. It's almost like it's coming off a little gimmick.
You could tell it's Fugazi. Like he's
Yeah.
trying too hard. He's not being genuine. He's not being because he's a dork, dude. That's
and
fine.
it was relatively quiet as a Lions offensive coordinator. Now he's this loud, boisterous. Oh, I'm so happy to be in Chicago.
He's overcompensating. It's the
Yeah.
5'4" guy driving the Ram 3500 with a lift kit.
Yeah, I don't understand the strategy. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out because if the Bears come out and get absolutely demolished by the Lions this season, why'd you do it? Now, let's look at the flip side of the coin because this is how I like to argue too. If the Bears come out and sweep the Lions, I guess Ben Johnson knows what he's doing and all that shit talk's warranted, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have to wait and see on the field. It's just, to me, it's very off-putting.
Yeah. And it means more because he is a Bear now. He's on the other side. He's one of our direct rivals. So I think it's a little bit of gamesmanship there. But, yeah, he better be right. He better be right. That's all. Hey.
Spenny, Mark in the chat. Dude's a chode.
He is a chode.
He is a chode.
Man, I haven't heard that term in forever.
Just chode
Dude's
on
a
it.
chode for sure.
Chode was huge like in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
He's a chode. So Ben Johnson continuing to run his mouth. We'll see. I don't think it is going to phase Jared Goff. I don't think it's going to phase Dan Campbell.
It should.
But I do think that it's putting Kirby Joseph on. Like, I think it does more for the defense than it does for the offense, right?
Absolutely.
Because now the defense is going to want to go stand on 10 and take down Ben Johnson for talking shit about Jared
Yeah,
Goff.
because that was the part that went slept on in that. He talked more about the defense than Jared Goff. Like, yeah, of course you're excited to have a mobile quarterback, a new style of quarterback. That's fine. But you brought up how you've been torched, and the defense got torched. I don't think they took too kindly to that.
Let's create an AI of Ben Johnson, just dissing Aiden Hutchinson and then send it to Hutch and
Hell yeah.
have him all working out all weekend.
I prefer to have
Maybe
players with
the
legs that
Hunter,
don't break.
Right.
The whole defense, maybe Jack Campbell, maybe put
Yeah.
a picture of Ben Johnson up as he's pumping iron.
I just, like I said, I just don't. He could have been beloved by this city forever. You know, like even if he went to Chicago, like that initial reaction. But if he would have dialed it back and just like praised Detroit,
I disagree. Once he went to Chicago,
He's dead to me.
he was dead.
Yeah.
Like he ruined everything. Like you can't go. Like even if you went like passively because it's the North,
Yeah.
right? So he's got to act that way. Like he's
that's
got to
exactly.
posture this because you're in the North.
It's
I
a
mean, it's like
rivalry.
Game of Thrones, bro.
Yeah, it's a
you're in the
rivalry.
North.
Yep.
The snow's here.
Yeah.
you got to dig down deep, baby.
You better
the
hope your
weather
dra-
ain't gonna protect you.
Hey,
This
you-
ain't
you're
the
right.
land of
And
dragons.
You better
it
hope
a
your
day
dragon got
after-
it.
Doing a day after they got eliminated, like, fuck you little fucking chode.
KG says it was just a 2-hour phone call, Spenny.
Yeah, and I don't even care about the next. What was he supposed to wait 2 weeks to go? I mean,
Yes.
it is what it is.
No,
but
that's
he's
why
on the
I-
other
But
That
this
will
is.
be
But
beloved
does
too.
this like help formulate more of like what a weasel this guy is? That maybe he was taking his eye off the prize when he was here.
I still don't agree with that. I don't think he threw the game, but I do believe.
I wouldn't
Fuck
say
yeah,
through the
Stick.
game.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson, he fucking was down the road and everything else. He was not even thinking. And this way he reacted. He's deflecting all the attention. So you know what? He was already focusing on Caleb Williams, right?
You're telling me when
his
he's on the
jock, and you
toilet,
know
he's
what?
not sitting
He
there drawing up
let
Caleb
us
Williams
down.
plays?
No, I don't
He
think
let
that.
us down.
I'm telling you, that
What a
guy's such a
show.
weasel.
But
What a
everything
show.
What a
after-
show.
You're a weasel!
Number one chode.
What about merch?
I'm getting a shirt, mate. Speaking of merch, can I get a merch
Get
shirt?
your
Number
fuck
one
Ben
chode.
Johnson shirts now.
Hey,
Chode
it's your
fest.
shop. Throw it up there.
Should we do a BJ shirt with a cross over it, like a no
Shit.
BJ sign, a no BJ shirt?
What type of
I don't think
BJs
any
you
of us
talking
are
about?
fans of that.
Yeah,
but
I don't like
think it'd
that
be fun.
sentiment. It is funny.
I'm a fan of BJ.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not
What if
no
I did a
BJ.
no BJ shirt?
Eh,
All right, well, we'll see if we get that one up. If
We're-
not, just
we're
go
working
check out
on
our website. We got tons of new designs going up. JB designed in April and the D-shirt that
Don't be
went
putting that
up
on
today.
the universe, Stick.
What,
Don't be
no
putting
BJs?
No BJs in the universe.
I mean, it means Ben Johnson. Nobody
Hey, it
wants
can
a Ben
work for
Johnson.
Lions fans and like feminists. They would
Yeah.
maybe
No.
tap into that market.
I mean, even feminists, they still. Never mind. Yeah. New shirt designs. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce here every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays, today during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy I trusted, me, for 4 Stanley Cups. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Call 248-426-9944.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. He will also be off tomorrow. Mr. Terry Foster going to join the show along with Sean Belesian. So
He's back from Punta Cana.
Yeah, I was texting
that's
him while
gonna
he
be
was on the
electric.
beach, so you know he's going to have some stories for you.
Epic
Benny.
old school. Tune in.
Terry and Sean on a Bourbon Friday.
Oh God!
But you got to have Terry bring in his top 5 list, though.
Yeah.
We need to know Terry's top 5 black people.
That's all let him know.
We have.
And can you have him grade us on how we did it?
Yeah, absolutely. We
Thank
can.
you.
Actually, have Terry bring in his top 5 whites.
because I got to get my list for Black
Terry's
Sabbath.
top 5 whites. All right,
Terry's
I'll-
top 5 whites. would
Top
be
5
good.
whites.
Oh my God. Epic.
KG in the sound booth. We got Spencer Raxter here as well. We were just talking about Ben Johnson and all the shit talking that he seems to be doing for no reason.
Mark in the chat. Ben Johnson looks like he's got feet pics on his phone.
Probably do.
He's got a feet finder's.
It's Caleb's
feet
painted
finder's
toenails.
deluxe.
Right.
What do you want to talk about, Spenny? You want to talk about the Red Wings since we got a Darren McCarty here?
Yeah, we can talk about the Red Wings. Obviously, Andrew Kopp goes down. That's really tough because he was stepping up big, especially in faceoffs and being that 2C. And then you trade Ville Husso to free up some cap space. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but they have the cap space to take on a contract that would be like $14 million a year. So if they have the enough cap space to bring in a player this year that would make up to $14 million this season. And we talked about guys. I don't think Rantanen is a possibility, but Dylan Cousins was a guy that was thrown around before the Kopp injury.
Buffalo?
Yeah, and Buffalo sucks. He is having a down year, but you put him in a line between Kane and DeBrincat, and that's going to
He's a
boost
top
those
6
numbers.
player.
Yeah.
When you get his potential and the guy, it's one of those things you get stuck in Buffalo too. What is are you playing up to your potential, and is it other things that go around? I think the big thing, Spenny, did they say how long Kopp was going to be out?
4 to 6 months. He's done for the year.
So he's done.
Yeah.
Right? So that changes everything. When you sat here and you asked me yesterday, and I said, well, you're conversating buyers, sellers. I think more of this makes you a buyer.
I agree.
What I liked that I saw last game, right? Probably JT Compher's best game of the season.
Yep.
Which is the perfect time for him to sort of come out of his shell. He's going to have to play some big moments and stuff. Yes, big loss experience and stuff like this because of what we were getting out of Kopp, but it's not the end of the world. I'd be a lot more concerned losing a defenseman out of anybody else right now because I think that the way Todd McClellan has this team playing, it can be more plug and place. But to your point, with the money that's there to spend, I wouldn't be surprised. And if because if you make a deal for a Dylan Cousins, that's not a rental.
No.
That's you're making a commitment to it. But it's a younger guy like that has put up numbers in the past that you could see fit in, and that's a name that I would put a green check mark in. Would he fit on this team where they're at right now? And absolutely.
And that's what it is. I mean, you do have the depth, obviously, with guys that you could. Veleno could play center. Rasmussen, when he gets back, he could play center. You've got the guys that could do it, but what you miss the most out of Kopp is on the dot. Larkin can't take every face-off,
Which has been, but here, and yes, so maybe that will be more of the focus of what you're gonna get. Which goes out there. And I don't think it would ever be done because I think Tampa Bay, but this is a Luke Glendening perfect situation. Guy like a role-playing guy. Now, to your point, they have guys. What I meant by guys that can step up. In the meantime, as tough as this schedule is for the next 3 or 4 games, but you're looking for long-term.
Yep.
You're looking for longer-term help and stuff like this. I'm not worried about, like you said, is it Veleno getting more minutes? Is it going back to center? Is it Rasmussen playing back in the middle? You have abilities there to move it around, but in the long term, right, these aren't solutions.
I agree. And I know everybody talks about Danielson and he's not coming up this year. I don't think. He's doing very well in Grand Rapids right now. He had a game-winning goal the other night. He set up Mazur with a nice assist last night.
I love he's back playing too.
Yeah, and he'll be up here next year, but I don't think they bring him up this year.
Maybe a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To give him a taste and stuff like this. Wouldn't be surprised on the road. We saw it earlier in the year with Kosa and stuff like this. That's where you want to give them a taste, and it's sort of like a reward, right? And it gets them playing harder. And you look at the way like this system is starting to flow with that talent. So there are options. I think he's a year away, but you never know. If they don't think so, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Have you heard any rumblings from Steve? I know he keeps his
Manugian Mansion says D-Mac knows what's going on, but he won't say. No, guys, they won't tell me because I will tell all of you.
Yeah.
Right? This is where I will blabber mouth. I'm just trying to read between the lines.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you one thing, the hashtag Wiser plan, right? That phone plan is working off the hook.
And I think a very good thing was that Rasmussen avoided a serious injury because he's been getting beat up these past couple games. And you remember like 2 years ago when Rasmussen went down, the whole team flipped because of what he brings. He can play center, he can play wing, the penalty kill, obviously the physical aspect of it, being a net front presence. We saw against Anaheim, Dylan Larkin getting, cross-checked in the ribs and stuff. That's because he's in front of the net. Whoever's in front of the net's going to take abuse like that, just ask Homer, but that's Rasmussen's spot. I don't want Larkin in front of the net.
No. Rasmussen and Soderblom.
Yeah.
Right? You got two monsters you're going to stick there. Manugi Manson mentions Pi Suter.
Yeah.
I don't think Vancouver's going to trade him, but guys like that, where you're going to look for, and if it's not adding somebody that you look that can help in the future, then you're going to look for the maybe a bottom six, or if you can get a second line centerman or something, but somebody who's going to help this team. He's not going to make a move just to get a dead body.
If you were playing GM, who would be on your wish list to add to this team right now?
I like a young. I like to see what you can get out of like going through the rosters of like Buffalo. Buffalo's got a couple guys like Tage Thompson. I think's off the hook, but that's my number one.
Yeah.
Just and you never know because it's unbelievable because Buffalo's one of those teams that we've heard that they got to be coming. They got Owen Power and they got all these young talent, but they just can't get it going. So is it a change of scenery thing? I'm looking in there.
If we got
moving
Tage
forward.
Thompson, we'd
it
win a
all
playoff
depends.
series.
Like there's different guys around the league that you can add for minimal amount of money, like the Glendennings and the Suitors. It's just that these teams in their playoff runs aren't going to give up those assets.
Yep.
So it all depends on what the move is. Was it last year this time the Hronek deal?
Yep.
Or?
Bring Brady home.
2 years.
What's that?
Bring Brady home. Go get him.
Oh my dude!
That'd
Don't even.
That'd be the best possible
That's
thing.
number one. That would be Brady Kachuk would be number one on the wish list out of Ottawa. But
that's not gonna
But
happen.
where they're at fighting and what he means, no.
Yeah.
That,
you don't
I don't
trade
think
your
it's
captain
possible,
like
but
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Spenny nailed it. Is it like my number one would be like a Tage Thompson and making a deal for a guy that can like that legitimate could be your A and B with Larkin.
And if you can see that, what do you think Stevie sees?
I think Stevie has to relate to. He's got the bigger picture. Like we all look as fans right now. Right? Like here, what's in the building? What's this? He's got to play it out all down the line with the contracts and who else he's going to put in and play. He's the thing with the hashtag Wiser plan is that's why he's in the position he's in because he has all of this. So when we don't see him make a move, in my opinion, most of the time is because it's not the right time or it doesn't benefit what his next move is. Like Spenny said, whether it's the youth. You look at the youth. Like this year's been about the youth movement because look at the experience, and now I can throw Soderblom in there.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could throw him in with Johansson
He's
and
getting better and
Edvinsson and
better.
Casper. Right? There's 4 freaking guys.
Yeah.
Like 4 legitimate rookies. And then you can even go Johnny Burgers, who
Knows
is
his
doing
role.
what he's supposed to be doing, chipping in at the right times. And sometimes we lose and forget about him, and he gets lost in the shuffle, and all of a sudden, boom.
He's a
chipping
gun for
in.
hire, man. He's just a shooter ready to go out there. And like I said, every time I see him, the kid scores. But the development of the rookies under Todd McClellan has been so apparent. Like I talk about it, I will never forgive Derek Lalonde for bringing up Marco Casper and putting him on the bottom 6. Like kid's been top 6 his whole life. He's been projected to be top 6 his whole life. If you bring him up here, that's what you're bringing him up there for. And look at that. You put him next to Raymond and Larkin, and they're one of the best first lines in the league. So it's just great stuff. And next year we got even more. We got ASP, Danielson, Kosa. Like these guys are gonna be coming.
Mazer,
up. Yeah,
Nygaard,
Wallander.
Lombardi.
Like guys coming up in the next few. Wallander, yeah. Like I mean, come on, boys.
Lombardi, like they. Well,
We forgot about Amadeus.
Yeah.
Rock me Amadeus.
Puchneskov looks insane.
Dude, I want him to come up and score, and I want him to play Rock Me Amadeus.
That would be awesome.
Amadeus.
Well, Stevie's got pieces he can add to this puzzle, and it's only going to get better from here. The Red Wings kind of clicking right now. It's fun to be able to talk about them in a positive light. Brad Holmes got some things to accomplish too, and he's looking at one specific position. We're going to talk about that after the break. But first, let me tell you about
Lady Jane. Now, Lady Jane, we take the chore to getting a haircut. Tower Styles delivering an industry-leading haircut. Relaxing scalp massage, hot lather, neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men is wicked awesome.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
I think a gamer's simply just chilling, or maybe want to crash down a 14-foot snowpike. Yeah, what am I talking about? Jars Cannabis. Shout out to our boy Raymond Abro and everybody at Jars for what a great Saturday it was. You can go back, check out the archives of Woodward Sports. Stick and I were out there having a great time. Jars Cannabis is what I'm talking about. They got you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest lineup of rec cannabis products. Just opened their 30th across the state with 9 new locations coming. Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, Milan, whatever it is. Get in there. Check out Darren McCarty brand today, jarscannabis.com. Go to see where you can get your favorite product.
Welcome back to Big D Energy. Shout out to Buddy's Pizza.
Wait, what?
New sponsor. Who this?
New sponsor.
Shout out Buddies.
Give me a square and an antipasto. Let's
pizza.
go.
Yeah, let me get an antipasto and let me get a square with mushrooms and bacon.
Give me that Detroiter, but bring back the pine nuts.
Oh my!
I want the pine nuts.
Oh, the pine nuts. I forgot about those.
I know. That was back in the old Buddies days. The
We
original
used to
Buddies
hit-
on
we used
6
to hit the one
Mile.
on Northwestern all the time. On the way home.
Yeah, the original Buddies on 6 Mile. When I was a kid, my friend's dad would take us to Tigers games, but we'd always go to Buddies on 6 Mile before we went down to Old Tiger Stadium. It was one of my core memories growing up here in Detroit.
One of the best
Detroit
pizzas
Square
on God's
Pizza.
green earth.
Yep. Just reading this Mary Kate Cornett story. You guys keeping up on that?
No.
Dude, she's like,
Her dad or her boyfriend's dad banged her or whatever.
yeah, but she's saying it's all untrue. But like, she's naming Pat McAfee, she's naming Antonio Brown, she's naming ESPN as spreading the story and spreading lies.
Wow.
So it's turning into a whole thing, and she's a smoke show though. I mean,
She's
if I was the dad, I'd take that notch on my belt.
for sure. And then you can save your son to, you know.
But she's saying it didn't happen.
You
But
say- yeah,
what's she supposed to say?
But if your dad did, he saved your son. Like, you don't want to go any further.
Right.
She's obviously a hoe. Like,
yeah.
At least
Can't
Dad
make a
got
whole
some.
housewife. That's one
He
thing.
had to check the oil. That's all, man.
Let's
God, we tried. Though.
Yeah,
Some of us have really
we all
tried.
tried with our first ones, didn't we,
That's
D-Mac?
it, or second. Or second.
Anyways, welcome back to Big D Energy. Shout out to Buddy's Pizza, a Detroit original since
Shout out.
1946.
Best pizza ever.
Brad Holmes, looking at edge rushers. We got some audio on that?
Yeah, we do. He talked about adding an elite edge rusher.
Well, okay. I was going to say, before we get to that, a guy that may fall to him now because of a stress fracture in his leg.
Yeah,
and you
saw
know,
that.
Dan, Brad Holmes, he likes them injured players.
He does.
Abdul Carter, the
I
number
still
one overall
doubt he
pick.
falls that far, but yeah, I get you.
But we could trade up to 12, baby, and he could be there.
12 is the magic number.
He
for
loves
him.
trading to 12.
Yeah, that's his
We
magic
could get
number.
Abdul Carter. Anyways, go ahead.
I think he's still a top 5 pick.
Well, why do you say one high end? I know, but why do you stop at one high end edge rusher? Why not 2 or 3 or? Exactly. That's my point. Is, look, yes, I mean, I'm asking that in seriousness, but also transparently letting you know, like, look, we're not just looking for one high-end rusher. Well, we have a high-end rusher now. We want to have another one, yes, but we'd like to have 3 or 4 high-end rushers. But that's just not always the reality of what you're able to do. So it's definitely not being ignored. Look, I want to say all the conversations that I have with GMs, throughout the year when we're bouncing off each other, what you need or what we need to improve our roster. I can't remember a time where pass rushers ever been omitted. I mean, that's what everybody wants that. So, it's not going to be ignored. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's the one player away. I think I've been pretty clear about that part because that one player on top of everything else that you have, and what you're definitely is that one player is not going to get hurt. That one player is not going to get hurt. So, but say that one player does not get hurt. Well, what if you have the attrition that we suffered this past season, where now does that one player make as much of a difference with all the attrition that you're out? So you got to look at all those different components. But no, pass rush will never be ignored. It never has been. But it's just those guys are hard to acquire.
What'd you take from that?
I like some things and I don't like some things out of that.
Okay.
What I do like is him being like, what do you mean just one elite pass rusher? We want all the elite pass rushers.
He was being snippy. He was.
But I mean, I like that mentality, right? Like, we don't just want one, we want all. But at the very end is kind of shook me a bit when he's like, well, but what happens if we sign a guy and he gets injured? I don't know if this year is going to have a residual effect on how they manage down the road just because of the fluke of the amount of injuries that they played. But you can tell it's affecting the way Brad Holmes is thinking about signing people. Because, yeah, we could sign whoever. We could sign Myles Garrett. If he snaps his leg, it doesn't matter. Right? So,
I look at it as
you can literally say that about anybody.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, that's not something that you would normally put in the forefront when you're talking about who you're signing, though. You can tell it's kind of stuck in the back of their head that we can do our job, but at the end of the day, if they get hurt, it doesn't matter.
That's your perspective. What I took from it goes back to what I always say. 4 years ago, Dan Campbell, I had to learn that I have to coach like every one of my starters is going to get hurt. That's all he's telling me. He's got a stockpile. And what it made me realize more than anything is what is valued the most in that locker room out of anything. If you need an over-excessive amount of, what is it? Pass rushers, D linemen. That's what he's telling you. I can never have enough. And you know what? If I'm in a position that I have too many, then so be it, because I don't want to be where I was last year. And at the end of the day, pressure on the quarterback in this league, as we saw with Philadelphia and stuff like this, is what he's saying is that I'm going to put all. If I'm going to store in the deep freezer and in the cupboard and in the crawl space, whatever it is for that day, it's pass rushers.
That's what I see it as. That too is, it's not just like one guy they're missing, or they are losing potentially in free agency. Levi Onwuzurike, Pat O'Connor, John Kaminsky, and Al-Quadri Muhammad. Like all those guys are free agents, so you need to build that depth back in. I expect them to sign at least 2 of those guys back, but that's what I think he's seeing. Like, you look at the Eagles isn't one guy or 2 guys. The rotation of the defensive line on those teams is insane. Same with the Bucs when they beat the Chiefs. The rotation of those guys. So I think having very, very good depth is what's more important to him, and that's why I don't really see them. Obviously, he called on Myles Garrett. Everybody's going to call on Myles Garrett. Right. That's doing your job. I don't see him going after a guy like that. I see him building more depth and consistent pieces. Like, I drafted in my mock draft Jahad Campbell and Jared Ivey with my first 2 picks. Those are both guys that will provide good depth and can get to the quarterback. And then I talked about signing a guy like Matt Judon to a $7 million a year deal. Yeah. You have him, Campbell, Ivy, Smith, and Pascal, along with Aiden Hutchinson, that's a damn good rotation of edge rushers. And I think that's what they're looking at more.
And we all know Brad has his own way of doing things. And what he tells the media is one thing, but if you pay attention to his moves, I think they tell you something different. I think they are taking this very seriously. And once again, I point to the graphic yesterday of all the formal meetings that they have set up with some of the players in the draft. If you look, they're all edge rushers or linebackers. Like, I think he realizes that this is a problem and this is something that they need to get to the next level. And I expect him to take it seriously, but he's going to do it his way. And we just have to be accepting of that. Will it be the Myles Garrett move that we all want? Probably not, but you never know. But he's going to do it his way.
I'm ready for it. Like, I think this is the finishing product time. This is the time where you got to go after it. And this is the first time we've ever seen Brad Holmes in the finishing position. Pause.
Yeah.
But, like, right. But, you know, it's all been a build-up to here. It was getting the salary cap straight, getting your guys in here, getting guys with the right mentality in here. And now it's, okay, we've built the product. Now what's going to take us over the top? And I'm really curious to see what Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Chris Spielman come up with what's going to take us over the top.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be Myles Garrett.
Could be Myles Garrett.
Could be a first-round draft pick.
Could
Who
be a
knows?
first-round
You
draft
don't know. That's what I love about these guys, too, is I'm comfortable enough sitting back and waiting for them to make the decision for me. I'm no longer sitting here telling them what to do because I couldn't have told them how to get here.
And
right?
he sees what the fans see. We all saw that the secondary was bad in 2023 when we got to the championship. What did he do? He went in over
4 new guys.
Shit.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we can expect to see the same thing this year with the edge rushers. So
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love it. I love the combines going on. I love NFL does such a good job of staying relevant. I mean, even when Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady are sneaking off to Montana for a nice little ski lodge resort vacation.
Come be our quarterback.
Very familiar to what he did with Mr. McVay when they met
Sneaking
in
off
Cancun.
in the night.
Just happened to be there at the same
Cheating on
time.
us.
Yeah, Stafford's kind of a sleazeball.
He is, man. He cheats on his franchises. He does.
Listen, I'm. When you're right about somebody and then history it finally exposes them, it makes you feel so much. Because I tried to convince people for the longest time and hear that Stafford will smile in your face but stab you in the back. And ever since he's left this city, you've seen it. Like after the loss last year in the postseason, no credit to the fans.
Yeah, that was the
no
biggest
acknowledgement to the city.
Yeah, everything he's done after.
Yeah, happy
Fuck
for the
you,
players.
buddy.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, and I
Go
don't
home
care
to
if
your
it was a
annoying wife.
response to what Kelly told him and all of that. It just, to me, that showed just the type of cold dude he was. He came here, he collected his $40 million a year, he threw some of it back in the city to make himself look good, but he never went out there to try to lead this team to a championship. I'll stand on business on that till the end of time because he had every resource. He had a number 2 defense. He had the best wide receiver, you could argue, of all time, and he still couldn't get it done. So I
got the nerve to say that wasn't the best receiver he played with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Cooper Kupp. Cooper
Right.
Kupp's much better than Calvin Johnson.
Crazy, but
Said nobody ever.
God, you love when time reveals somebody's character. You just love it. All right, we got to take one last break. When we get back, we'll take questions from the chat.
We could just go through. We only got 6 minutes left. And we
Only
already
6
did-
minutes left. Then
Yeah,
let's
we
do
did all the
questions from the
reads.
chat right now. You got something you want to put in there? Drop for 4-time Stanley Cup champion D-Mac. You want to drop it for KG, which KG, I got to admit, I'm very proud of you today.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's an underhanded.
No, honestly, tackling the political thing with Trick. Not a lot of people, especially because I know that you don't essentially share everyone. Not saying you disagree with him wholeheartedly.
Yeah, no, of course
But
not.
to initiate that conversation is exactly what Trick was talking about. Like, I'm willing to talk about this with people who don't agree with me.
Yeah.
Having the conversation's important.
No,
And
absolutely.
You brought it up because of the chat, but you still brought it up.
Yeah, so shout out. The reason I did that, there was somebody that will be left anonymous in the chat that wanted me to ask that I'm, got a close relationship with. And I was wondering too, so I was like, fuck it. But the reason I said Big T at first is because I didn't know whether it was okay to steer it in that way. So I was trying to get you to maybe catch on, but we got to the desired result. So
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it was part of the best part of the interview. If you ask me.
for real.
Like,
It
so-
juiced up after that for sure. But shout out Trick, man.
Let's see. Any questions in the chat? Jared Goff did the same thing to the Rams. Steve-O, baby. No, he didn't. As a matter of fact, Sean McVay has since apologized for the way they mishandled Goff. He said Goff deserved more.
Yeah.
He deserved to be treated like a man.
It's easy to say that now. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. I mean, you can only acknowledge a mistake after you made it, right?
Yeah.
So as long as he's going back and correcting it, that's fine. But, yeah, no, Goff didn't do that. L.A. did him dirty.
Yeah.
Twice, actually. I mean, his first coach. What the hell was that guy's name?
Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher, yeah. He did him dirty.
Yeah.
And then McVay came in and revived him. D-Mac, what time are you going to be at Sky Mint next week?
Sky Mint Hazel Park next Friday at I will be there from 4 to 7.
4 to 7. There you go. There's
Come
your
get
answer.
some of the brand.
Steve-O, baby, wants to ask Spencer, you didn't really almost get kicked out of Planet Fitness after that Spartan win, did you?
I did, because I started screaming very loud. So that's not the best thing.
Set
to
off
do.
the
Hey, real quick, Spenny, like how? Because I was sitting with a bunch of buddies watching that were Sparty fans and whatever. We were hanging out, and like the 3 guys jumped out of their chairs. When he threw it up too, like you know what I'm saying? It was like, this has got a chance. And the fact, if you haven't seen it, I don't think I've ever seen a ball from that far swish through a hoop without touch.
Wet.
Like, he didn't need to call backboard, nothing like that. That might have ticked the back of the rim.
Jiggy Traw, man, he's been one of our best, most important players all season. What he does defensively to your best guard is awesome to watch. He's a dog defensively. And his shooting, he has been arguably our best shooter this year outside of Jace Richardson. Like I said, he's had multiple games where he hit 3 threes in a row, including the game in Michigan. And that was just dog shit. Prayer answered, cash, March starts early. Like, shout out to them for getting it done. And 3 big road wins in a row to stay at number 1 in the Big Ten at Purdue, at Michigan, and now Purdue was at home. But at Michigan and at Maryland, just great stuff, man. Shout out to Spartans for getting it done.
Dante151 mailbag. What the hell is going on with some of the teams we thought were going to make the NBA playoffs that are falling off right now? For the example, the Phoenix Suns. Continuity.
Yeah.
I mean, the Suns have all the talent in the world. They just don't have the right pieces around it, honestly.
It's just crazy how KD's career went after, the Golden State thing. But
yeah. I'm a KD fan. So
I like KD too, and he was his big toe away from winning a championship in Brooklyn. Like, if his foot would have been behind the line, they would have beat the Suns in the finals.
I can't say they would have won the chip though, but they would have competed.
They would have went to the finals. I think they beat that Suns team.
Yeah, maybe.
Kevin Durant in the finals against Booker and Chris Paul. Like, give me KD for sure.
I don't know. They was hooping.
Hey, quick shout out.
Kevin Durant
Tomorrow night, Token Lounge, 9:00 p.m. Death Crew. Boys No Ring Death Match. You're all invited.
Hey,
Woodward ringside better be there.
You said Livonia, right?
I'm guest refereeing the main event between Hoodfoot and Detroit Punk Chuck Stein.
Nice.
So it'll be a banger.
Barbed wire bats and
if
cheers.
anybody wants to come out, that's over in Westland.
And happy
Token
birthday
Lounge.
to Chad. Shout out to Chad. Happy birthday, El Jefe.
Yeah, Chad Johnson.
Yep.
The one, the only.
Yep.
You may know him on Twitter.
Yep. The man upstairs.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Thank you, Chad, for believing in Woodward Sports when we
Thanks.
brought it to the table. It was about 4 or 5 years ago about this time where we walked in here, me and Joey and Adam, and we pitched it to Chad. Chad's like, yeah, I'll help fund that thing.
Created something beautiful, Stick.
Yeah, we did.
Was that
we
in
did.
like
Yes.
November? When was that?
I want to say August of 2020.
And then you got underway, what, November? Or?
September was or October 1st was our first official day in this studio. I was doing it from my couch
December,
before that.
I think I came in February.
Yeah, you weren't too far behind. So happy birthday, Chad Johnson, the guy
Happy
behind
birthday,
Lady
Chad.
Jane's, the guy behind Woodward Sports, and of course Birmingham Roast and Royal Oak Roast. You guys have a great one. Ermanni and Edwards is up next, so there's Ryan Ermanni right there.
Hey,
Look at that.
really?
Woo!
Deuces.